So it's the 4th of February 2012. I'm back at Valley Grown Nurseries again. I think the last video I did was a couple of weeks ago. We've had a few problems with the Palermo peppers, and I'll explain why in a minute. The Block California looking fine. So just to recap, in the background here behind these white screens we've got a 250 litre tank behind there running this row, and a 250 litre tank behind the screen running this row. But this row is Canna cocoa, and this row is Gold Label cocoa. The first 22 plants here are Palermo, and then the next 22 are Block California Red. So you've got a total of 44 plants in each row, and the same on the Canna. Palermo for 22 plants, and the Block California Red for the next 22. So what's happened is I've had a few problems. I sprayed the Palermo to try and sort of G them up with some nitrozyme and some various other things, over fertilised them, burnt all the heads, and created a bit of a nightmare. You can see obviously there's Palermo here on the drip irrigation, and here on the other side, looking healthier. But when I show you the block pepper, you can see the complete difference between the Palermo and the block pepper when I get further down. So to be honest with you, the Palermo are coming back in the Gold Label, and they'll probably look fine in the next couple of weeks. Struggling a little bit in the Canna, but what we've done with the Canna, we've taken the flower heads off to try and just encourage them to, you know, produce more vegetative leaf and instead of flower and pepper performance or pepper production. So I'll take you down the row and you can see. So the heads are starting to look a little bit stronger now. You can see where I burnt the leaves here, scorched them quite badly with the foliar spray. Have a look on this side, just there. But the heads are starting to look a bit stronger. It was a bit of a disaster, my fault entirely. I shouldn't have done it. We were trying to get a bit of greenness back into the plant, but what happened, I sprayed them and ended up damaging all the heads. So I'm just walking through the Palermo now, and you'll see a complete contrast in a minute with the type of pepper, the Block California Red. So the Palermo finish roughly around here, and then the Block California Red are here and here. And the Block California Red looking fine, nothing wrong with them at all. Obviously I can see what you can see down here. If I show you, you can see where I scorched them with the foliar spray, the Block California, but they'll be fine. Looking a lot darker, you can see the difference. So here's the Palermo here, and then the next plant is Block. You can see the difference in colour straight away, difference in the leaf formation, the amount of leaf. But hopefully the Palermo should come back. And they should, you know, they're doing it a lot better, to be honest with you, Palermo in the Gold Label than they are in the Canna, which I was quite surprised really. We're using the Canna Professional on this row, and we're using the Gold Label Standard Cocoa on this row, and to be honest with you, the Gold Label cocoa with the Palermo is looking, you know, is supporting the plant better and helping it recover better. Which is, I was a little bit surprised, but you know, hopefully the Canna will come back shortly and start catching up. Block pepper, not much difference really. Well, saying that, now I'm looking at it, I would probably say that the Gold Label with the Block California Red is actually doing better, slightly better. Well, to be honest with you, it's probably difficult to say. To be truthful, I would probably say that they're probably looking the same. They're looking fine. You know, you can see down here where I've scorched the leaves with foliar spray, which is just, you know, which really traumatized the Palermo peppers. The Block were fine. This was just an overrun of where I sprayed. But the heads are looking fine. We've got 3 heads forming on the Block. You know, when I walk into it a little bit further where I stopped spraying, you can see that, you know, the plants are looking lovely. If I go down lower, and you can see it's all really quite healthy down here. The last sort of 22 growing in standard cocoa, as I said, we've got 3 heads, so you can see the heads tied on the strings here, one there, one here, and one here. So that's how they support them, and they just run them up the strings into the roof of the greenhouse. You can see all the strings up there. But the block, they're looking lovely, really nice. Everyone's happy with those. It's just the Palermo we've got to try and get back. And then we go to the water trial, which at the moment is a bit of a pain, and it's really to do with the temperature of the water. The water is just freezing that's coming in, and the plants are looking a little bit, well, a little bit sad to say the least. They're growing, but the roots just aren't getting down into the water. I've changed it slightly, and what I've done, I've taken the tray out, so there's a lot more air in there. But you can see the root system below. Hopefully now what I've done, I've raised the plant, or the tray, sorry, off the floor, so it's not sitting on the floor anymore. It's actually sitting on polystyrene slats. So hopefully the ambient air temperature will increase the water temperature, and the plant roots will start dropping into the water below. When this plant over here, you can see, almost lost it, but I think it should come back. This one here looking really sad, but I've watered it through. The heads are still there, so we'll see how we go. This one's okay, it's not too bad, but it's the water, definitely the water temperature, that it's just freezing cold. And so we've increased the temperature of the water in the tanks, and I've raised obviously these trays so they're not sitting on the floor and the water's not cold. If I lift this one up, you can see just roots hanging below, and what's happening, you can see the tips of the roots, they're hitting the water and they're just going, oh my god, and just coming back up. But we'll see if we can warm the water temperature up, and we can see if we can get a bit more growth into it. But all in all, it's a trial at the end of the day. We're having a play. We'll get things right. It works in principle. You know, the block pepper are looking great. It's just I obviously traumatised the Palermo, and obviously it's the water temperature outside that we're bringing in is just shocking the plants. And obviously what I did with the Palermo wasn't the right thing to do. I sprayed them when I shouldn't have sprayed them, and I should have just given them a little bit of food from below. But hopefully the heads will come back. They're starting to look a bit stronger now, particularly on the gold label. They're starting to look much better. They're kind of a little bit weak still, so as I said, we've taken the flower heads off, but we'll come back in a week or two's time and we'll see how we're going then. Hopefully we should be okay. I will speak to you later. Cheers, bye bye.